Well, this is my version of the PSK for now. I'm really torn about how useful this is or not useful. I've been playing with it most of the weekend up here. Me and another forum member are gonna spend quite a few weekends trying to live out of these things, especially once some of the game laws are more suited for it, or you can still stay things and do things the right way. A lot of these I've seen on the internet everywhere you look. All the outdoor boards have them. I read a lot that people carry them in their pack, and I often wonder, why carry this if you got a pack load of gear? And then there's always the question of, well, if you're separated from your pack, you've lost everything. So I kind of made mine a belt kit. I didn't make the container it's in. Someone else on the forum made it, and then it was ended up ultimately gifted to me. But with all the ones that are out there, all over the place, how many people actually come out and play with them? I see lots of people build them, store them, throw them back in the drawer, whatever. But I don't ever see anyone actually truly coming out and using one. So throughout the 4 seasons this year, this thing is going to be used a lot. So this will probably be in multiple parts on using it. I'll quickly get into what's in it. It's pretty much the same as everyone else's. Formats may be a little different, but overall the same things are in them that's in everyone's. So let's move the camera around and we'll start over in a bit. Okay, opened up. This is the layout I chose. Again, this particular pouch was already pre-made. I don't think the original maker had any intentions of it being used for this, but it comes out pretty good this way. The Swedish Fire Steel and a little turley knife. I really enjoy using this little guy here. It's packed with snow and ice. It's pretty frozen down. We've been up here for a couple of days already. Instead of an Altoid 10, I chose one of these little containers there. Marbles compass. Useful, but at the same time I don't think it's a necessary piece of gear, as I can, very quickly within about a half hour to an hour have my celestial navigation down real fast up here, especially on even a remotely cloudy day. I can get enough light and sun to shadow stick method and even come up with a sundial compass fairly quickly, even with just using just that knife. So, but it does make for things going a lot faster if you want to navigate around. Like I said, we've been trekking through the snow for a while, so this is frozen and stiff. 2 Mylar space blankets. Tonight I'm going to try to sleep in just those space blankets. It'll probably hit about 5 below. We'll see how well I do, or if it gets too cold, I'm getting in my bag. Brass wire. Typical snare wire, brass craft wire, whatever you want to call it. I almost don't believe you can carry enough of this stuff. Up in this country, cottontails and squirrels they're around. They're pretty tough to catch right now because they're outside limited. They're doing what we should be inside, wherever they den up, conserving heat and energy. And roll of mason twine. And I chose fluorescent ore, and I figure if I'm tying anything off, I go to build my shelter, I need to be able to see it. Or if I'm going to use it as an additional to tie off a snare, when I set a group or a line of them up, I don't want to come back up on them constantly. I want to be able to see them from a distance if possible and see if they've moved or been disturbed. And I can use this fluorescent orange to see from a farther distance to see if my set's been disturbed. And that's it for the inside. Again, this is just a reproduction. Some people call them a tobacco tin, whatever. Secondary fire starting is a lens, and these things work good. I think these are about a 4 power lens. needle and thread for repair of my clothing. For summer use, I got a whole vial. This holds, I don't know what these are, who makes them, but it came in an order from some company. It'll hold almost a whole entire vial of water purification tabs. Saw, which by itself, I've gone through 3 or 4 of these, practicing with them, playing with them. This particular one here has held up the best. This is the second one that I've gone through one already and I broke it, but I was cutting down, you know, 3-4 inch logs with it very slowly, but eventually they're all going to break. Cotton balls, spat wood, and fishing kit. Fishing right now is good luck. The creek bottoms are frozen solid. That's where I would put more reliability on gathering any kind of food if I was in the snare wire. It might be, you know, one catch every 3 or 4 days, but that's better than anything. I see a lot of people only bring just a little bit and a roll about that wide. I think effective snares you need a piece to begin with about 18 inches to get a good variety of loop, and depending on the tie off that you're going to have to secure that thing. I mean, it's no good to set a snare, catch something in it, and they have a way to get out of it or to break it and move on. This is 12 yards right here. And this will still fit. I can actually make this fit inside that 10 if I kind of change the shape a little bit, but I really don't like to put any kinks at all in my wire. I like to keep it nice and smooth. When that animal comes through, I want a nice smooth catch. Plus it has, you know, the uses are just for other things, repairs. God, I mean, limited to your imagination what you can use it for. So here in a little bit, we're going to try to set up some snares. We're going to make a squirrel pole, maybe a couple of cottontail sets if we can find some tracks to see if there's any running in this area here. This is our second night up. We were on the other side of that mountain, way over there. So this is my kit for now. I would prefer to have the whole thing in this bag right here. The reason being is I'd like to have a real water container, and that'd be my canteen and a cup. I've tried just day hikes carrying so far around this past couple months, which is why I'm kind of way behind on posting this, but I've been trying the different Ziploc bags with really no success. I find them too fragile to actually try to move around with them. The quart size is too small to fill it, to get it to where the water volume isn't compressing on the bag and you don't have a shock load on the bag. The gallon size is too big. There's a bag I looked up the other day. I'm going to order it in and give it a try. And it's actually a heavy duty reinforced, almost similar to an old aircrew style bag, but it does have a couple clips built into it, and they claim it will fit with most kits inside an Altoids 10. And it has provisions to take a piece of string and make a shoulder harness carry out of it. That's my only probably biggest complaint with these, is the carriage of water. Right now, you've seen in the opening sequence, this is snow country. Getting water, it's flat. The creeks are flat frozen. There's a foot of ice on top of 3 or 4 inches of moving water underneath. Calories expended to get that ice, I don't know. Or to get through that ice, to get to that water, I don't know. I'd rather just melt snow. Day hike done a couple weeks ago. We put snow in a Ziploc, stuck it inside our clothing. I don't know how that's the amount of calories you're burning off just trying to heat that back up to get it to melt down. 2 or 3 cups of ice get you a couple swallows of water. That's something. I'd rather have just a canteen cup than a water bottle of any kind, or any of the water bottle cups. I'm going to be starting to fire anyway constantly. Just re-warming up, re-drying out. I can always melt a lot more snow and keep my canteen full. And then I don't need water purification either. So, well, let's go get some stuff going with it, and we'll hook up a bow saw here in a little bit, and we'll set some snare traps and see what happens. Really tough to get that. To get that sparker aimed, especially with a small knife and wearing gloves, and my hands are absolutely cold. And okay, there.